What's up, the boys? How's it?
What's good, brothers?
Yee-hee-hee. How
Hello,
we feeling?
boys.
How are you, mate? Still smarting. Didn't get the dress code memo, but all
Wait,
good.
Hey,
this is a draft, brother. You
this
should
is
know
a
better.
draft.
I was thinking this morning, mate. It's good to be on the pod, but you guys have put all the appearance fee money into Tupou, and then you get me in as second pick. Bottom of the
you're
barrel,
in there,
but good to
though,
be
mate.
on the pod.
Yeah, no. So, welcome everyone to the third phase Super Rugby Aotearoa fantasy draft. It's
Okay.
myself, T. Got Lima here, and then we've got our two esteemed guests, Tupou and JJ Johnson. Welcome to the pod, boys.
Hey, what's up, boys? Thank you for having us.
How we
Yeah,
feeling?
mate. Cheers.
Awesome. So we just thought with Super Rugby getting together, we thought we'd all connect and do a bit of a Super Rugby fantasy draft. We're all pretty hardcore code heads, and we thought we'd bring two of the biggest code heads on to talk shop. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a fantasy draft. We've randomly selected our order. So we've got 3 rounds of picks. For the first round, we've got our draft order selected. It's myself first, Jesse second, Tupou third, and Lima fourth. And then we'll go in reverse order, and we'll go reverse back and forth, and then we'll announce the order for the second round and third round as we go. But yeah, boys, anyone got any tactics or anything leading into this draft?
Well, as a one-time Super Rugby player myself, I've got plenty of knowledge to give. So I don't know about you boys, but I think I've got the in.
One cap,
Mate.
wonder.
I'll tell you what, I had a little look today, and it's going to be nervous. There's some positions in here that are pretty thin on the ground. And then when you add in the fact you got to pick 2 of them, like 2 wingers, 2 locks, it's going to be interesting.
It's going to be tough, boys. It's going to be creative. So what we've got a timer. So I'll bring up the timer shortly, and then what we'll do is the timer will run for 30 seconds. Within that 30 seconds, you'll have approximately 15 seconds to select your player, and then you'll also just tell us why you picked him, what you're hoping to get from him, and then once the timer hits, it'll go to the next person. I've got the draft order here, so I'll remind everyone, keep everyone on track, and we just track our players, boys. How are we feeling? All good?
Oh, I'm feeling low-key nervous, eh?
Me too, eh? Me too.
It's gonna be a good draft. Anyone got a team name? Or nah?
Ooh,
You know?
team
I
name.
don't think.
Yeah, Team Hungry.
Team
Team Hungry.
Team Hungry selects.
Oh, let's
You
get
got a
it,
team name,
boys.
Sobs? You got a team
I
name?
was just wondering if the boys want the team names, but nah, cancel that.
Not a bad shout, though.
Can everyone see the timer?
Oh, yep.
Yeah, mate.
Right,
Sorted.
boys. Ready to
So
rock?
that'll be going. Is that correct?
Yeah, so that'll be going on loop, and it'll just replay. So I'll go first, do my pick, and then once the 30-second hits, then Jesse can go, and maybe in the later rounds, once our picks get quicker, we can just cut the time short if we pick our player before the 30 seconds, etc. You know.
Yeah, nice.
All right,
Sounds
boys.
good, mate. Here we go.
Super Rugby draft.
All right, boys. So for the first round of the Super Rugby draft, Tupou Paramaluton selects Beauden Barrett at fullback.
Oh,
Okay.
Fullback.
Okay.
You know, he brings a lot of tactical kicking. He's got an engine on him. I think he's a leader from the back, great cover tackler, and I think he's a game driver. So I'm looking to build my team around people who can drive a game. So
Nice.
yeah, that's my first pick, Beauden Barrett, number 1.
That's a good
Nice.
pick.
Johnson.
well, that pick's throwing a spanner in my works already, but with the second pick in the Super Rugby Aotearoa draft, I'll be picking TJ Perenara to lead my team.
Ooh,
Couple of reasons for this. Obviously, halfbacks, I reckon, is the thinnest position on the ground tonight, so I didn't want to be without TJ or Aaron Smith. But I reckon more importantly, I'm picking TJ to have a huge 10 weeks for the Canes. You hear so much about how competitive he is. He's going to lead from the front and draw the boys in. So my first pick in my team tonight, TJ Perenara.
Oh, Johnson, Toops, you're on the clock.
And with the third pick of the Aotearoa Super Rugby draft, Team Hungry selects Artie Salvia from the Wellington Hurricanes.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
Franchise player, New Zealand World Rugby Player of the Year. I don't know about you boys, but if I'm going into battle each and every day, the person you're giving the ball to, Adi Salvia. Franchise player.
The franchise, baby. Soppers.
The 4th round pick in the Aotearoa Super Rugby competition, Lima Sopuanga is going to select at 10, Aaron Cruden. That's my guy. I just feel like he's going to be special. He's coming back from France. He's got a bit of a chip on his shoulder, but he just brings so much mana and so much class to that outfit. And I look forward to seeing him go. So that's going to be my first pick, Aaron Cruden.
We're on the clock with number 5, Sops.
Here we go.
Number 5th pick. I think this goes hand in hand. These two are pretty special. They've known each other a long time. So I'm going to pick my guy, Aaron Smith, to partner Aaron Cruden in the halves.
Oh.
I think you've got to have a good 9-10 combo, good axis, good spine. So that's what I've gone for early doors. Aaron Smith and Aaron Cruden. Aaron Smith
that's
is my
old
second
spine.
pick.
Hey, Tupou.
Yeah, and is that the 6th pick?
Yep.
Yep.
And for the 6th pick of the Aotearoa Super 15 or Super Rugby draft, Team Hungary selects at lock Scott Barrett.
Ooh.
You need a big engine. You need someone who's young, who's hungry, who's got a point to prove. He's got other brothers in the Super Rugby, and you know what? He's got a point to prove. He's going to ball out at lock, the engine room.
And 7th pick in the Aotearoa Super Rugby draft. I didn't think I'd have the luxury of picking this man, the All Black captain at number 7, Sam Cane, comes into my side. Didn't think I would have him, as I said, but really stoked to have Sammy in the team. Obviously, we're pretty thin on 7s tonight, and with Artie gone and Sam now, it leaves with Tuppers and Tupou reeling a little bit in the number 7 jersey. Sammy came for me.
That's all right, Johnson. That's all right. All right, with my second pick of the Super Rugby Aotearoa draft, I'm going with a young kid who's a proven winner at Super Rugby and ITM Cup level. He really came on at the international level throughout this year. He stepped in. He managed to push Bowden Barrett back to fullback. I think he's a kid with a massive future. He's diverse in terms of his game management. But I'm going with Richie Moanga at 10.
Nice. Not bad pick.
Yeah, not a bad one, T.
Then with my next pick as the 9th round, I'm going for a halfback, building my spine, continuing on that, and looking to play at pace, as well as having a strong box kick. He's also quite sizey as well, brings a physicality around the breakdown. My 3rd pick is going to be Bryn Hall.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Interesting, man.
Johnson, you're up.
And with my pick tonight, my 3rd pick for my team, I am going to the midfield. Hasn't been touched so far, and I'm taking the services of Anton Leonard-Brown into number 12.
Wow.
Obviously, we've got to pick 2 midfielders tonight. These boys are thin. I'm bloody stoked to have ALB in my team.
Oh, great pick.
For me, yeah, big one there. Gee, they're going thick and fast, though, these players.
Mate, I know.
Keep reeling.
I know. Tupou on the clock.
Yeah, with my next pick, my 3rd pick for my team, I'm building the front load here, getting all my stocks ready to go. You need a big forward pack, mobile, ready to go all day. At 3rd, I'm going Joe Moody in the props.
Ooh, great pick.
Ooh, he's going big props.
Oh,
I like it.
yeah, don't mind that, mate. Don't mind that at all.
All right, Sopper's on the clock.
Wow. There's some classy backs and not much you can choose from once the boys start picking, but I'm going to go off a back again, and I've selected in my pick, my 3rd pick of the round is going to be Nani Lo Mape.
Oh,
Human
mate.
beast. He's going to give me some go-forward ball, that fella. You know, he's electric. Crowds love him. So I'll bring him to the party.
Perfect. Lima, you're on the clock again, yeah, mate?
Yeah, with my fourth pick, I better start building the engine room. You know, there's no point in having these flashy backs with no engine room. So I've decided to go with a lock, and I'm going Paddy Tupou up front.
Oh, great pick.
Paddy Tupou.
Nice, mate. Nice.
Nice.
Tupou, you're on the clock, Russ.
Yeah, with my fourth pick, I'm going into the back line. I believe this guy's the best centre in the whole world. Never, ever seen him miss a tackle. So I'm going to take at centre, Mr. Jack Goodhue from the Crusaders.
Ooh.
Nice
Never
one,
seen him
mate.
miss a tackle. My man's going all the way this year. He's going to go 3 in a row.
Johnson, you're on the clock, mate.
And in my team tonight, my fourth pick, I believe, and thinking about getting into the forward soon, but I cannot resist this man. Obviously, last year didn't make the starting team in the All Blacks, but he is undoubtedly still, in my mind, the best winger in world rugby. He has been awesome for the Blues at the start of this season, making 9 line breaks and 4 tries. That's going to be on the left wing, Rico Ioane for me.
Ooh,
Nice.
Every team needs a star winger. And once again, it's another double position that we've got to pick. So
Great stuff, Johnson. All right, so it's me on the clock.
Bit of pressure there, it looks like, T.
Oh,
You
he's
look like
not
Yeah,
sure.
no, mate.
Feeling,
He's
mate.
tightening up there,
Just
T.
making sure my pick's
he's
there.
reeling.
With my pick, I'm going to go for some Tongan horse meat, and he's a ball carrier. He's a finisher across the line, Shannon Frizzell at number
Ooh.
6.
And number 6.
And then with my next pick, to orchestrate my line out, he's mobile, he's agile, he's also a great line out option. Coming into his latter years, but brings great leadership and great mana. He's a workhorse, Sam Whitelock.
Nice.
Nice, bro.
Nice,
He's a great
mate.
pick. It's a good engine room.
That's real good. Okay.
Right.
On to me now, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay. Been resisting going into the forwards all day, but I think my time has come to fill the number 2 position. And for me, I'm going to go with the rugged Kapiti Coast man. Have a lot of things in common with this boy, Dane Coles. He's a Wellington College old boy as well. And he's going to lead the 4-pack for me in the number 2 jersey, co-captain the side along with TJ Perenara.
The Hurricanes
I'm
faithful.
reeling up front though, boys, let me tell you.
All right. So we've got Tupou on the clock.
Oh, this is a hard one, boys, I tell you. But this is a bit of a side pick. But he's going to captain my team. And taking him at the back there, I think he's young, but he's also got a lot of talent. I also see him as the next Ben Smith. So out the back, captaining our team, I'm taking Will Jordan.
Ooh,
Oh,
jeez. And the captain.
Last pick of our first round, Lima
Last pick of
Sopuanga.
the first round. It's a tough pick, but I've got to stick to the engine room, I think. I really like this guy. The way this guy's come on in years, he's been phenomenal, especially for that All Black pack up front. And I think he's just a quality leader, but he'll add so much to my pack. And I'm going with Cody Taylor from the Crusaders at 2.
Oh, nice.
Nice, mate.
Great pick. All
Should we have
right,
a
boys.
pause?
Yeah. How we feeling?
Yeah.
How we feeling? So we got, mate, we got a few interesting options. I thought Will Jordan suits you, mate.
Bro,
Something out
I
the
think
gate,
he's a
fella.
game changer, boys. I honestly think he's He's the next best thing. If I'm gonna start a franchise, it'll be him and Adi Salvia. But
Oh,
I think this guy is the next best thing. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but
I think you're thinking about rebuild and not win now mode, brother.
bro, you need some young talent in there, man. He's young and hungry.
nah, but just think, bro, this competition is a sprint. It's about a win-now competition.
Yeah, bro.
It's only 10 weeks long. Out the gate early.
And it's also with there being no semis and no finals. If you trip up in the first couple of weeks, you're going to be out of this race as well. So there's going to be a lot of consistency for that team, you know, versus when you used to be able to make a run, make a late play. I don't think it's going to be the case in this one.
Yeah, obviously, you guys have not seen who's in my forward pack. It's got more caps than half your forward pack there, boys. So I don't know about that. I think somebody went early on Aaron Cruden. He's old.
Yeah.
I think he's got a lot to give, eh? I think he's got a lot to give. I'm with you, Sops.
Mate, before the lockdown, the Chiefs were humming, and there's only, you know, like they were losing to the Blues. Who'd they bring on? Mr. Aaron Cruden turns the game around against the Blues, gets them over the line. You can't buy experience, boys. Can't buy it.
I think you took Nani as well next to line up next to him. Is that right?
Yeah, took Nani.
Yeah.
Exciting. Got a ball
There
player.
was a little bit of offline chat as well earlier on in the day about T-Tup had been in the hot seat and whether or not he was going to bottle it. I reckon Bodie Barrett off the bat at fullback really threw a spanner in the works. I don't know what you guys thought.
But I've got two game drivers, two of the best game drivers in the world to go along. I'm going to hopefully build a mobile forward pack, mate. Run and gun, baby.
Oh, I didn't see them drive the game in the World Cup, but it's all right.
All right, let's get to the 6th round, eh?
The 6th round, all right. So we've got a new draft order, all right.
Yep.
So our first pick, we've got Lima. Second pick, Jesse. Third pick, myself. And then unlucky Tubes, fourth pick, you. So, and then we'll just snake back and forth.
Oh, crap.
Hey, look, man.
But you get the double pick at the end, Bruss.
It's a double pick, bro.
I feel you, boys. I feel you. You've got faith.
All right. So I'm about to click off the timer here. First
Hold
pick
on,
of this.
hold
All right. Man's not ready.
Just making sure. I don't want to make sure, you know, I'm writing down who's taking who, you know?
Yeah.
Because Moody's off the board right now. That's correct, isn't it?
Yeah, that is correct.
He's gone,
so
mate.
I've got him off my list.
Okay. Fair
All
enough.
right. I'm about to hit the timer, Sops. You ready?
Yep.
All right. So for the first pick of the second round, you're on the clock.
First pick of the second round for the Aotearoa Super Rugby competition. It's been a tough options here trying to pick. But I am starting to build that engine room, and Hooker's no good without his tight head prop, so I'm going the big man up front, number 3. He's a colossus up there for Chiefs Mana, Nipo Lolala.
Ooh, great pick. Great pick.
He's a big boy.
It is a good pick, eh?
Yeah. All right.
And then
Jesse?
I'm up, I'm somewhat being forced into this move, actually, a little bit earlier than what I thought, but I've got no locks at the moment, and with Scotty Barrett, Paddy Tuipuotu, and Sam Whitelock being all off the table, for me, I'm going to go in with a Chiefs battler and a Chiefs grinder, Mitchell Brown. He's 76 tackles, only the 4th highest behind 3 of the open sides flankers. So Mitchell Brown is going to go into this for me.
Great pick. All right, for myself, continuing on with my forward pack, I'll be taking a guy he's been consistent at Super Rugby level. He's always got high work rate, solid at the set piece. He's been in and around the All Black fringes. So for my hooker, I'm going Liam Coltman.
Nice.
Nice one, mate.
So, Tubes, you are on the clock, my bro.
Yeah, to start off the second round, for my pick in the Aotearoa Super Rugby competition, I'll be backing up my engine room. I want to get a bit of leadership in there. A stallion. He's been around the blocks. I think he's played over 200 games, been around the All Blacks. He's won multiple Super 15 Super Rugby titles. I'll be taking Luke Romano from the Crusaders.
Great pick.
Awesome,
I thought he
mate.
might be a dark horse. Oh, great job. All right, Tubes, you're on the clock again, brother. Back-to-back picks.
Back-to-back picks. Well, to take me into the direction that I need to go. I believe this guy's nippy. I need a bit of zeal in the back line. I'll be taking out from the Chiefs to direct my forward pack. Brad Weber out from the Chiefs mana.
Ooh, nice.
Ooh. Nice, mate. Nice.
Great bloke too.
All right.
UAT.
I'm on the clock. All right, boys, for my next pick of the draft, continue to build out my engine room. I'm going for a prop he's actually a twin brother. He's got big heart. He gets around the park, solid scrummager, and I think he's got a lot to offer. I think we'll see him in the All Blacks in the next 2 or 3 years if he stays in New Zealand. I've gone for Daniel Leonard-Brown.
Nice.
Man, some really good picks going on. I'm in a bit of a tough spot. But,
And for me, it's
Johnson.
It's me, isn't it? Yeah, so I need a driver in my team at the moment. I'm sitting here without a first 5, and I've got Dan Carter, who I'm not sure is going to play a lot of minutes. So no. So with that in mind, I'm going Damien McKenzie. I'm bringing Damien McKenzie.
At 10.
In 10, yeah.
Oh,
switch up for sure. But I've got Damien McKenzie at 10 without Moanga.
Soppers.
Sorry, Johnson, I cut you off before. I actually thought it was my pick. Sorry.
Typical.
I'm in a bit of a tough spot of deciding who I want to pick. But with my pick, I think I've got to finish off that engine room. And I'm going to have to go with... Oh, it's tough.
Oh, he's reeling. 3 seconds.
I'm going to go with Offa.
All right, you're on the clock again, Sops.
That gives me some options now. I've built my front row. I think it's quality front row. But I've got to go out the back. Johnson snaked in there with D. McKenzie. I thought he was going to be my fullback, but I'm gonna back another guy who I think's got massive potential and is only just scratching the surface. I'm going with David Havili from the Crusaders at fullback.
That's a great pick.
Great pick.
He's an awesome player.
He's a silky player, eh?
I'm really mindful of that fullback position too. Obviously, T's got his one, and
you're on the
was
clock,
eventually all sign up your fullbacks. But in that case, I'm going to shift Geordie Barrett, who hasn't been picked tonight so far. He's going to be my fullback, and he's going to drive the team around from the back. Dual playmaker role with Damien McKenzie. Nice. So Geordie Barrett from me at fullback.
All right. I'm on the clock. With my pick, I'll be taking a big number 8, big ball carrier. He hasn't got his justice that he deserves. I think he's an up-and-coming player who the All Blacks could build around in the coming future. And I'm going for my number 8, Akira Ioane.
Great pick.
Risk reward.
Nice, T. Nice.
You're on the clock, Tubes.
Yeah, I'm going to finish up the front row. This kid's out of Wainui. He's been playing in Australia. He's young. He's mobile, and he's just returned back to the capital. And I think hanging around Joe Moody, he could potentially take over his spot and be the long-term prop. So I'm going to take Tyrell Lomax from the Wellington Hurricanes for my next pick.
Solid. Man, some good players still out there, boys.
Yeah, man.
All right, you're on the clock again, Tubes.
Oh, the pressure cooker. I need a few runners, and I know this guy. You get him the ball and he can finish. A well-renowned sevens player, but also top try scorer. I think it was 2 years ago, and I think he's going to have another big season under his belt. So at number 11, I'm going to be taking Ben Lamb from the Wellington Hurricanes.
Great pick. Game breaker.
Solid pick. That's back to me now, isn't it, Tupou?
No, that's me. I think that's me, mate. I think.
No.
Yeah, all right. No, sorry, it's you and then me.
Yeah. Okay, so for my pick, now I am actually going into number 8. When I did a bit of due diligence this morning and looked at the stats of Super Rugby so far, this person has topped the count in forwards on running meters, line breaks, tackle breaks, and he's third on offloads. So number 8 for
Oh,
me,
you're out,
Hoskins
Johnson.
Tutu. No, it was Hoskins Tutu. Number 8.
Oh, mate.
Unsure about that one.
Yeah, we'll start who's that? So it's me next. All right, with my next pick, continuing to build out my locking stocks. I've gone for another big ball runner, athlete. Probably needs to get more in the hard graft, but I'm going for Via Fafita at lock.
Oh, that's a good pick at lock.
Nice, T. Nice.
All right. So, Sops, when this hits, you're on the clock, brother.
Oh, it's a tough choice. It's a tough choice. I've got a solid front row. I've got a lock. I probably do need to pick a bit of a loose forward trio. And it is pretty tough at this moment. But at 8, I'm going to pick someone who's phenomenal in the lineouts, very underrated. Gareth Evans is going to be my 8.
Great pick. You've got back-to-back, Sops.
Oh, back-to-back. You love a good back-to-back set, don't you, boys? Well,
Victory's always better.
We're going to round off my back line. I've got a 9, 10, 12. I need a 13. Some would say this guy's got extreme pace.
No!
At 13. And he's got plenty of potential, so I'm going to have to take him. I'll take Braden Eno at 13.
Great Val. Far out. All right, Johnson, you're on the clock. Ooh,
It is me, isn't it? Okay. So for me, I'm going to have to get back into the full pack because I don't have any props, boys. I'm living by the sword here and dying by it. And I'm going for the big man, Kao Tui Nufuaki is going to come in for the props. Apologies for that pronunciation of the last name there. But Big Carl is going to be my prop.
He's nice.
All right. I'm on the clock, boys. So with Lima poaching, who I think is going to be the potential centre for the All Blacks over the next 5 years, I'm going to have to take stock. And looking at the players left on the board, I think this guy's another up-and-comer, very robust runner, electric footwork, and he's got a lot of potential as well. TJ Faiane at 12.
Oh, nice.
He's had a great year last year.
Yeah. With the last pick of the second round, we've got Tupou Sopoanga.
And with the last pick of the second round for the Aotearoa Super Rugby competition, straight out of Cambridge High School, brother of Mitch, born in 1997, only 23 years old, just freshly into the All Blacks, could potentially make it his homestead for the next 5 to 10 years. I select Luke Jacobson at number 8.
Great pick. Great pick, boys. How are we feeling?
Oh, mate, it's nervous, eh?
There's a few. Yeah, I'm just looking at my team now. Got my fullback, 10, 9, 6, my locks.
I need another lock and 2 flankers.
Well, all I know that I'm going down to scrum against Jesse Johnson's team because he's got the worst of the props.
Yeah. I've still got to get one more prop. Yeah, I've still got one more, but there's some good ones left on the board. I think someone that people are overlooking slightly.
Alex
I know who you're thinking too. I would have taken him as well.
Depends.
Has anyone taken Luke Jacobson?
That's just Tupou's last pick. This is debatable though. I'm not sure. Has he played any 8 or is he more of just a?
Yeah, he has. I Wikipedia'd it. Okay, mate. So, he was called into the All Blacks because Akira obviously had low work rate, so they called in my boy Luke, and obviously he got injured. So, but he is capped.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nice one, boys.
Ah.
All right.
So who's up now?
So in our next round, we've got, so Tupou, you have first pick, Lima second, Johnson third, and myself fourth. And then just bear in mind, I think, Jesse, you've announced your captaincy, but at the end we'll select captains, and we'll also select a coach, and you can select a coach from anywhere in the world. But if we'll do, we'll figure out the draft order for the coach. But yeah. All right, boys. Should we kick into this last round? Everyone ready to rock?
Oh, I'm just trying to look at my picks. Like,
what do you got left, T? What do you got left on your board?
So hang on a second.
I got a lock.
Yeah, I've got 2 wingers, a Lucy, a centre, and a prop. So I tried to go for the approach of trying to get class across the park, and then I can find little glue pieces. But I'm really gutted with my centres. Nothing against those players; they're great players in their own right. Don't get me wrong. But there was just
you're gonna be playing that English 10-man rugby, mate, with no centre and no wingers.
It's gonna be
10-man rugby, bud.
There's some good wingers there, bro. There's some undercover ones, and also some current All Blacks left over, boys.
There is.
What about you, Jesse? What you got left?
So I got 1 prop, I got a lock and a blindside, and then I got a centre and a winger as well.
Cannot believe you took Braden Eno, Lima.
I took it as a bit of a swipe at you because I knew there was going to be someone you were really keen on. And I thought, for a guy who absolutely loves this guy, like to the point where it's almost sickening, like I thought he would have been in your at least first round in your 5 first picks. That's actually
in my heart. Yeah, in my heart it was, but then I didn't think you'd stoop to that level. You know, I thought you'd back your principles. Nah. Right, boys. We got our final round. We ready to rock?
Yeah, mate, we're ready to go.
All right. So with the first pick of the 3rd round and final round of our draft, Tupou Sopoaga is on the clock.
I'll be honest, boys, this is a tough one. But my first pick of the final round of the Aotearoa Super Rugby competition to lead my team around the park. He reminds me of a young Sops, and I think he could potentially be a mainstay over the next 5 years to run the kara in the All Blacks. If the rules changes, he could go to Manu Samoa. So I'm going to be taking that 10, Joshua Wane.
Great pick. Great
Nice,
player.
mate.
Yeah, massive potential. Lima, you're on the clock.
3rd round pick. I haven't got a 7 yet, so I better lock it down. I think this guy's got great potential. Any guy who's willing to scrap Ardie Savea and take him on and put the fists up deserves my seal of approval. So it will be Duplessis Karifi at 7 for me.
Great pick.
Love that dude. Great pick.
Yeah, he could go all the way.
Yeah.
That is a real good pick, eh?
Johnson.
Well, my team's slowly starting to resemble like a 96 Hurricanes with an all-star backline and not much of a forward pick, but I'm carrying on that trend. And in the right wing, I'm going to put in Sevu Reece. I believe he hasn't been picked.
No, he's still on the board.
No.
Yeah, current All Black. So Rieko Ioane and Sevu Reece will be my wingers. Electric.
That is electric.
That is electric. All right. I'm on the clock myself. And for this time, I'm continuing with my X Factor extreme pace approach. This guy was massive in terms of line breaks, meters. He's not only played well at ITM Cup level, he's killed it at Super Rugby level. Someone with massive potential, Solomon Alaimalo.
Oh, he's a game
nice,
breaker.
Mate.
He's nice, man.
And then I'm also up next. So for my open side flanker, slightly switching gears, but some guy, he's a fetcher. He's got massive mongrel, which I like as well. He's up there, up in Auckland. At open side, I'll be selecting Blake Gibson.
Oh, not bad. Not bad.
Nice.
All right.
Alrighty. Over to me, eh?
Yep.
This is me now, yeah?
Clock.
Okay, cool. All right, and I'm going to go slightly left field for my blindside flank tonight, but this person got a fair few starts early on in the Super Rugby down south, and I'm hoping that he'll get a couple more as we progress into this Aotearoa format. He's a loyal, local man for us, and it's Te Ariki Ben Nicholas to come into the number 6 jersey.
Huge call.
Great player.
Great
Tall,
player.
lean, strong, fast.
Yeah. Soppers, you're on the clock, brother.
Oh, so much quality out there. I'm left with 2 wingers who I don't have a jersey for, but this guy is Mr. Dependable. He ended up leaving, my favourite player out on, not even in the 23. So I'm going to have to select this guy. He's lining. I think his combination with Havili will be unbelievable. So I'm going George Bridge on my right wing at 14.
Nice
Great pick. Tubes, you're up, brother.
Oh, I've got a hooker left in 6 and 12. I think this guy had a great start to his career. Obviously, he's behind one of the great hookers of all time. But I believe he's only going to get better as he gets older. And I need a bit of a ball runner inside my forward pack, so I'm going to go with Asafua Moore out of 9-9, Wellington, New Zealand.
Great pick. You got back-to-back picks, Soups.
Oh, and speaking of Wellington products, I believe this guy's playing down south. Obviously, he's got a prestigious last name. He's also comes out of Scots College. Twin brother plays up here in the Wellington Hurricanes, but I believe that he's got a chip on his shoulder. He's going to have a big season behind him. To get sorted in the back line, I'm going with Thomas Umanga Jetson at 12.
Great pick.
Nice, mate.
Nice. All right.
That's me. I think.
You're on the clock.
Oh, some great guys still on the board. It's such a hard one. But I've got to round out my locking stock, I think. And I'm going to have to pick. I'm going to pick a big body, and just pure potential. I think he's going to be great in the future. Puddy Parkinson.
Yeah, great. Here's on my list. Great pick. Johnson.
Decent. And on the same, mate, I'm going to follow down Sopper's route and round out my locks. For me, it's a bit thin on the ground, but still some real quality within these locks. Shout out to Ethan Blackadder, who does a Bronco in 4 minutes 34. But for me, I'm going for the Gizzy product, playing for the Hurricanes, Isaac Walker-Leweri.
He's coming. Is he
Solid.
from Gizzy?
Is he from Gizzy? I'm on the clock. Being a centre myself, I would have liked to get my balance a bit better. However, I still think we can soldier on. We'll be defensively solid. We'll be able to protect Richie. He's a product out of the Manawatu. He's bided his time. He's played down in Canterbury. He's now returned home, and he's shown a lot of class and promise. Was knocking on the All Blacks door for a wee while there. With the Landers, I've gone for my number 13, Rob Thompson.
Oh,
solid.
And then I'm on the clock again, switching gears, moving to the front row and rounding out my propping stocks. I'm going to go with... Oh, shut the bed. I'm going to go with Sione Mafaleo, who I think he's a really solid scrummager around the park, and he's going to bring to my dynamic ball running and give me Next
so I've got 2 positions left. That's me, isn't it? Not Lehman?
Yep.
Yeah, it's me. Yeah, I've got 2 positions left. I've got a prop and centre. So for me, I'm going to look to the midfield. And a bit of an embarrassment of riches for the Canes. They seem to rotate a little bit in the midfield, but I'm hoping this boy will get a bit of game time. He plays every time he plays with the Canes. He goes so well. And that's Vince Assel. 13.
What position are you picking him at?
I'm picking him at 13.
All right.
I've got a winger and a 6 left to pick. there's some absolute quality. I think I need a bit of a sort of up the guts kind of style winger. I was going to go for a bit of flair, but we've got Dave Havili, George Bridge, and Braden Enor. So I've gone to, you always need some island blood out there, and I'm going Manasseh.
Mataele.
Ele.
Yeah, great pick. Great pick. Yeah, good player. Toots, you're on the clock.
Yeah, been just to round out my back line in the back three so far. I've got Ben Lanham at 11, Will Jordan at 15, and just to bring a bit of maturity and bit of class. He's been around both rugby league and rugby union for over 10 years now. He's also run NRL premierships. So there's a lot of seniority in this pick. So with this pick, I'm going Matt Duffy.
Great job.
Just squeaked it in there, mate.
You're up, Johnson.
My last pick is a prop for me.
Hang on. Is it Tupou next?
Yeah, it's Toops.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Back to back.
All right, to run back to back. Well, to round out my last pick, I need a 6. I'm pretty sure he hasn't been picked yet, but he's got groomed to be great. We've got a pretty young loose forward trio, so to add that to the mix, we're going to go Dalton Papali'i.
Papali'i, great player. Big potential.
Yeah, real good.
Yeah. Soppers, you're up.
Oh, I've got my last pick. It's 6. Man, some quality players been taken off the board. But I'll go for a Landers man. He's from the Hawke's Bay, originally from Welly. He's a good man. He's got a bit of swag about him. Marino, Mikaeli Tu'u.
Nice, mate.
Nice.
Yeah.
He's over you, boy, too.
Played with him a few years, mate. He's a good dude, and he's a beast. He is a beast.
And my last pick is in the prop, and not my area of specialties, the front row, but for me, a little bit of a nod to the future, but someone who's obviously had a big impact already this year for the Hurricanes, and I think he'll play a part in Aotearoa, and he'll be big and bigger going forward as well, and that is Alex Fido at prop for me.
Oh, there's a great pick.
Game breaker. All right, boys. And with the last pick of the Super Rugby Aotearoa draft, I need a winger. And no better man. I'm surprised he's still on the board. He had a hell of a start to the season. He was up there in terms of line breaks, tries scored, and was making the Blues extremely competitive. And I'm going with Mark Talea on the wing.
Yeah, mate.
Good for Tony Villager, that man.
Mate, he had 47 tackle busts in Super Rugby, and the next best was 22.
Mate, he's a machine.
Yeah.
He's
on fire. Good pick, last pick.
Oh, some great picks.
Some great picks.
Nice one. It comes thick and fast.
Yeah, mate, how do we feel, boys, with our teams? Do we get the players we were looking for, or?
Very surprised that like all the top probably the top 10 picks, I reckon.
Yeah. Definitely.
Surprised some of the people went before I thought.
Yeah, I'm quite happy with my spine, to be fair.
Yeah, I'm happy with my. Well, what do you consider your spine? Your 15, 10, 9 hooker?
2, lock, 8, 9, 10, 15.
Have we got a bit of a time to run through our teams, or are we I'd love to see. I can't quite remember all you guys' teams.
Should we
run through it in order?
Yeah. Should we run through it in order? All right. So, do you want to kick us off, Sops? You go first, and we'll just go Soppers, Jesse, Toops, and myself.
Yeah. So this is team Sops for the draft. And number 1, I've gone Ofa Tungafasi. Number 2, Cody Taylor. Number 3, Nipo Laulala. 4, Paripari Parkinson. Number 5, Patrick Tuipulotu. Number 6, Marino. Marino. What's his name?
Mikaele Tu'u.
Yep.
Number 7, Duplessis Karifi. Number 8, Gareth Evans. Number 9, Aaron Smith. Number 10, Aaron Cruden. Number 11, Manasa Mataele. Number 12, Nani Lomape. Number 13, Braden Inor. Number 14, George Bridge. And number 15, Dave Havili. And my captain will be Aaron Cruden. And my coach will be none other than Mr. Jamie Joseph.
Nice, nice.
That's
Jesse?
a real good team, eh?
Yeah, no, that is, and I think you've got a really good blend of like maturity, grafters. Like it's fairly complete, mate, as well as X Factor. So yeah, it's
for sure.
I like that.
Great
team.
spine.
Yeah,
Like you said, a great spine, eh? Yeah. So I go prop Carl Tuinakwafi, Dane Coles at hooker, Alex Fido prop, the Warhorse Mitchell Brown at lock with Isaiah Walker-Leawedi, Tiariki Ben Nicholas on the blind side, Sammy Kane at number 7, and Hoskins Satutu at 8. In the back line, TJ Perenara to skip at the side at 9, Damian McKenzie at 10, Rico Ioane at 11, Anton Leonard-Brown at 12, Vince Ussell at 13, Sevu Reese 14, and Geordie Barrett at 15.
You got a real rock star sort of backline there, eh, Johnson?
Yeah. I know. I think I prioritised the backs a little bit too much. Still happy with my forwards, but I went hard on the backs early and I got caught out a little bit at lock. I left.
Good touch and go in the loose forward trio, I think.
Yeah,
mate. I'll be right with Tiariki Ben Nicholas. Don't you worry, mate.
I think my approach has kind of backfired a little bit. You guys kind of focused towards key areas where I tried to get kind of strength across the park, whereas I may have stuffed up just looking at the team.
Who have you gone for, T?
Now we'll go Tubes next.
Yeah, well, at number 1, I've got Joe Moody. Number 2, at hooker, I've got the schoolboy sensation, Asafo Amoa. At 3, the local hero, Tyrell Lomax. And then in the engine room, we've got Luke Romano and Scott Barrett, number 1 in all of New Zealand and in all of Australia and the world. And then in the back 3 of the loose forward, I've got Dalton Papali'i at 6. At 7, we got the greatest 7 in all of the world, Artie Savia, and 8 Luke Jacobson. And to direct the park, we've got Brad Weber. At 10, we've got young Joshua Wane to lead us around the field. And then we've got a few young fellas at 12, Thomas Umanga Jensen, Jack Goodhue at 13. And in the back line, the back 3, a bit of X factor and seniority. We've got Will Jordan at the back at 15, Ben Lamb on the left wing, and Matt Duffy at 14. Key strength in this team, the type 5, hands down.
Yeah, mate, you guys are going into the trenches with that.
Great full
if it gets rainy, boys, we'll kick it to the touch. We'll scrum, we'll line out, and with Artie at the 7, we'll go all day.
Wait, you sure Joshua is going to kick it out though?
Well, if he's been learning from you, Sobs.
He's gone to the Sopoaga Academy.
Nah, he's a good man. Love giving that guy a stick.
And sorry, Sobs, Soups, who was your captain and coach?
Captain my team, there's a bit of a left field, but I've gone Will Jordan, probably the youngest, but a lot of potential, a lot of area for leadership, and I'm believing, I guess, being around guys like Joe Moody and Luke Romanos and Scott Barrett, he's going to learn a lot of those attributes of what it takes to be a leader. And to head my team, I've got to go with downtown Tony Brown.
Great pick.
Hey, a bit out of the gate with your captaincy there, considering you got someone like Artie Savia right there.
Well, revolutionised the game, mate.
He did, but Artie's he's an old soul, you know. He's going to pass the baton sometime. So
But he
we'll
connects
give him
with the young
fella.
souls as well. He's that middle ground, he's that bridge between young and old, mate. Between the fans and the team. And he's got
He
a
is,
shitload
he
of money,
is.
bro.
But the thing is, he's my number one pick, and he knows that, bro. He knows that. He's my franchise player. He's my franchise player.
And he knows that.
All right. So for my team, I've got, my front row, we've got Sione Mafalio, Liam Coltman, and Daniel Leonard-Brown, all mobile ball carriers, solid scrummagers, I believe. Not that I know anything about scrumming. It's all right.
Good scrum.
For our locking, we've got Sam Whitelock to orchestrate our line out. Wily veteran, Via Fafita, again, X Factor, who I think few kegs he could get in the hard graft. Then we've got Shannon Frizzell. Can't stop him close to the line. Pick and go central. He's a beast around the park, and I think he's only going to get more physical. Blake Gibson, solid grafter, and then a real kind of potentially high risk, high reward, but I back the reward and I back him this year. He just needs to get some runs on the board as Akira Ioane. And then, yeah. So, and then I've got a guy who I actually think deserves an All Black shot, and he hasn't really got his due, whatever you call it, due justice, whatever. But Bryn Hall, I really like his gameplay, love his box kick, and I think he's got a real sharp pass. Then we've got Richie Moanga, Mark Talia, X Factor, TJ Faiane, good ball runner, solid feet. Rob Thompson, just a solid glue guy, makes his tackles. He'll get you go forward. He's turning more into a distributor. He's brought a slight little grubber chip game into his arsenal, which I like. Then we've got remaining at our X Factor out the back. We've got Solomon Ali Malo, and of course the ever reliable Bowden Barrett, except when he's kicking off the tee. But Richie will be my goal kicker, just to be clear.
And your
Who's
skipper?
captain?
So, and my skipper, this is the tough part, but for my skipper, we've got quite a young team here. But for my skipper, I'm going to go Richie Moanga. I think he's been in around winning environments. He knows how to drive a team. He'll be able to implement the game plan, and I think also he'll win some respect for the boys. And then my coach, I'm going for someone he's currently based in the Northern Hemisphere at the moment, but someone who I quite respect as a coach is Eddie Jones.
Nice.
Bring that real steel, bit of innovation, and keep the boys accountable, particularly with the young team.
Nice.
A lot of ball runners in your team, man. You've got Frizzell, you've got Akira, and then you've got Via Fafita. Man, that's a lot of X Factor in that team. That's a lot of X Factor.
Particularly with my back three as well. So I'm hoping with our game drivers, we can get a bit of a blend. We've got three good calm heads, 9, 10, 15. We'll be able to play.
You really didn't. You left your midfielders a bit late, considering.
Yeah, I did. I was banking on someone. Well, you guys loading up in other areas as well, but obviously, yeah, that's probably nothing to those guys. It's probably the one bit where I could have done better.
Kira will probably be in the back line anyway, so you can just slot him in
Yeah.
One person I thought would have gone in the front row who I missed, and I should have. I was meant to take him, was Atu Moli.
Right.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. There was him.
They got big reps on him, eh?
Bro, he's very good. He's unbelievable. Not that I know anything about props, but he's so young and he's such a massive body. Like, he is humongous.
Yeah. Also, Angus Ta'aval as well, still in there. Michael Alalator.
Yeah.
Siate Tokolahi.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good, like there's still Dylan Hunt, James Lynchies, Gus Soakula, who's come on for the Chiefs, been really good.
Yeah.
I even think Sean Stevenson. It was a toss-up for me. Sean Stevenson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really.
He had a great year, I think, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really good.
It's been a bit inconsistent at the moment, eh?
Yeah.
Itani Nanai Satoro, I think he's a bit of a player for the future as well. I was looking at him on my wing at one point, but couldn't turn down Rico and Stevie Reese.
Yeah,
I was
rock star backline.
Stevie Reese. I should have taken him at the chance.
Yeah.
I was curious to take the young Kini Naholo, just because he could be a boom or bust kind of player. Obviously, with his brother coming into the Highlanders, I think he was at the Blues before that. There wasn't much to him. Went down south and blossomed. So I was curious to maybe lean towards a potential pick there.
Yeah. I think another guy along that boat, and Sops, you've had some time with him, is Josh Mackay. I reckon he's an up-and-comer, eh?
Yeah,
He's got a lot of X-factor, good balance.
I mean, he spent, 2 or 3 years under the tillage of Ben Smith, so, you know, any time under that, you're definitely going to learn a lot.
Yeah. And no one went for Dan Carter, boys.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I was sort of measuring it on minutes played because you'll have to do something with this tee. We'll have to collate it all and
you have to
take track of who scores points because that's why I steer clear of DC. But when you put Barrett to fullback, that had me reeling a little bit because that was one of the 10s. I thought 10s you could kind of leave a little bit.
Well, that's what I was thinking. That's why I knew you guys would be thinking that. So I just wanted to load up, and I do think the dual playmaker system got a bit of bad raps, but I do think there's a lot of kudos to Beauden Barrett just as an out-and-out fullback, regardless of dual playmakers. I think he was just to commit to playing fullback. He could be one of the best fullbacks in the world.
That's solid team, eh?
Yeah, boys.
But I think me and T were talking. Maybe we should keep hold of our teams and sort of do like the fantasy with these guys.
Yeah, so what we'll do is we'll just import the scores. We'll go to like Super Rugby Fantasy League and we'll import the scores of each player that they get to your respective team, and then we'll just calculate and see who comes out week on week. How does that sound?
Yeah, man, that'll be perfect.
There can be a bit of a winner's prize at the end or something like that.
£100 buy-in. No.
Any rebuys.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that'll be good. And I know you boys are based in the UK, but man, it's going to be great to have it back on. Eh? Like I was walking the streets of Wellington today and talking to a lot of people in there. 20,000 tickets sold for Forsyth Bar on Friday night, and 35,000 already sold at Eden Park. So Crusaders Hurricanes is at the Westpac Stadium next weekend. It's going to be great to have the rugby back out on the field and cheering up people's lounges again. Eh?
100%. That's going to be amazing. It's really good over here in the UK. They've got obviously the games at live times, but they replay them at 10 a.m. each day. So Tuppers will be sketching a few meetings in the calendar there just to keep the work away.
Yeah. Who do you boys think is going to take it all together?
I think it's hard to go past the Crusaders, bro. But Lima and I would talk. I don't know. You've got your thoughts, Lima, but I think the Crusaders are just pretty proven winners, particularly when they've also had the same team in the same key positions for a long period of time. So to hit the ground running and kind of, you need to win get on the board early. I think they'll strike pretty hot. But what do you reckon, Sops?
Yeah, it's a hard one. Like I'm always going to back the Highlanders, and I hope they do well. And so I'm always going to back them. But like you say, it is pretty hard with the new format that the game is, in terms of it's a straight race to the top. Do you know what I mean? Like if you, like Jesse said before, if you drop early games, you're not going to pick those back up probably. Yeah. So I guess it's whoever starts last. My heart will always say Highlanders, and I hope they do fantastic and really have a crack at that top. But if I was gonna take off that sort of like the Highlanders goggles and say somebody else, I think I'd have to back the Chiefs just with their experience. And like I said, that's why a big reason was I picked Aaron Cruden, and I think he's influential, and I don't think we can also go past the fact that they've got a new coach in Warren Gatland, who has been pretty successful for the Lions and pretty successful for Wales. So if you put a team of Cruden, Weber, Leonard Brown, Sam Kane, Atu Moli, Nepo Lawala, you're starting to really. I think Luke Jacobson is he there?
Jacobson, and then you've got that Mitchell Brown and Michael Allardyce as well. Who Allardyce is he's a solid grafter, man. And then
you got like electric dudes out wide as well. Like Sean Stevenson, and then you got Ayla Malo. So they are a pretty quality team.
Yeah, bro, pretty complete as well when you look at it like that, eh?
Yeah. I think depth's going to be a big thing too, because like usually in a natural Super 15 or Super Rugby format, it's easy to let your better players rest on the games against Australia.
Yeah.
But every week you're playing the number one team. Every team
100%.
in Super Rugby in New Zealand can be the number one team on any given day. So I think, I guess, if teams such as, I guess, the Hurricanes, for example, drop a few key players, that they could be in trouble pretty quick. Whereas teams such as the Chiefs, they've got a few extra players under their belt that are more seasoned, that can step up and, I guess, make the plays or step up for the big games when they need it. So hopefully a lot of the boys don't get too injured, but it's definitely going to be a big change on the bodies over the next couple of weeks.
Particularly going into those local derbies, like you always see the attrition afterwards, man. It's like a war. It's going to be, and the boys will be fizzing as well. No, I'm really looking forward to it. Who do you think are the big players to watch out for? Like, I suppose, the dark horse players. You have your mainstays, but who would be some, like your Will Jordans, Tupes, or anyone else that you can think of that maybe the casual rugby fan may not be thinking of?
But I'm really I had a little look at the stats today when I was doing a bit of this. But Hoskins Satutu from the Blues, mate, he's got some really impressive stats. Like I said beforehand, he was leading the tackle, the running meters. He was leading line breaks. He was leading tackle breaks, and he was third in offloads. And this was even when you were doing an average per game, he was going really well. So I'm going to look a lot more closer at him. Yeah, given he's my team as well. I'm right behind him.
Lima, you reckon he's got All Blacks potential? You reckon he's got All Blacks potential, boys, this year, or if there was an end-of-year tour?
With Rito leaving, bro, the world's the oyster at 8. It's like whether they look at playing Artie out of position to accommodate, or do they, there's no real out-and-out next international number 8 coming through the All Black system at the moment. So, I was talking to Lima about it in terms of the Blues. Like, I think they could play either Hoskins at 8 and maybe Akita at 6, and move Tom Robinson, the rangy lock with the red hair, into lock to partner Paddy Tupes. But I suppose that he may not be the heaviest in the scrums, but just to bring them a bit more dynamic ball running and more threats across the park. But
yeah, I'm a big fan of Akita. I just think he needs time in the saddle, just an opportunity to get more minutes under his belt, rather than like 20 minutes here, 10 minutes there, And they've, if you look at their team now, they've brought in Beauden Barrett, DC, whether he plays or not.
Yeah.
But you've got proper game drivers. Not that other guys aren't game drivers, but Beauden Barrett is world class, World Club of the Year, back to back. You can't buy that kind of thing. So I think him being led around by those sorts of players, I think his game is really going to flourish, and I'd love to see him just be given a bit of time to just express themselves and get out there.
Yeah, for sure.
So dangerous.
Yeah, that's the thing about the Blues. They've definitely had the different game drivers over the past 5 years. So putting Bo Barrett and putting DC in the saddle can really settle the ship. And I think guys like Ioane could definitely benefit from a bit of old head that's able to direct them, or give them the, give them the encouragement that they have been given to all the guys that they've been around over their career.
Also hold them a bit more accountable as well. Not that they take a free run, but it's kind of easy to take the shortcut when you're a young dude and you're top of the world. So like having some older heads come in and help drive standards, I think will be a big change as well.
Yeah, for sure. Just quickly, Liams, this draft was a bit of fun, but if you had been a player and they'd have done this draft for real, let's say this year in the coronavirus, what would have your thoughts been as a Highlander? But if they proposed a draft situation like this, one off,
like, am I coming in young? Like, is everybody like in the NBA, like all 19 years old?
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, because you have 2 options. You put everyone up for the draft, or you say under 23s go into the draft, they're eligible. Because you get that hype in America because everyone knows the college players, obviously. But in New Zealand, you don't quite know the next Julian Severe coming out of school as such when they're 18. But maybe if it's like a draft system until you're 23 or something like that.
I think so. We'll just take my 2011 under 20s team. So before everybody went into Super Rugby, say we were coming out of under 20s, if they took all those guys and put them into a draft, I think that would have been sick. You know, like you've got Bowden Barrett, TJ Perenara, you got Charles Pietau,
Saili, Sam Kane.
Sam Kane, Brodie Retallick, Luke Whitelock.
Brad Shields.
Brad Shields. I think that would have been sick. You know, you would have had some
imagine that.
hype around sort of those guys, and you know, coaches being like, among the 5 franchises, all right, the best young talent's coming out. Like, oh, we're taking him, we're taking them. You know, you might not have gone to the team you wanted to go to because, you know, in New Zealand, you know, everybody just wants to go where they're from. But I think it would be sick, you know, like to see guys just being fucked out. Okay, the Blues get, you know, first pick and 7th pick, and Highlanders get, you know, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th or whatever. Or, you know, even graded picks, you know, like things like that. I think it would have been. I think it would have been cool. I would have. I think it would have been awesome for the fans. I don't know how logistically it would have worked, but you know, talking about hypotheticals, I think it would have been. That would have been cool.
Solid, mate. Solid. Yeah, it would be interesting. I think they have to do something like, you know, just to make the game a bit more. Like you look at the NBA, there's so much more kind of media storylines and stuff like that. Whereas here it's just the same news, like such and such is injured, such and such is coming back. Red cards, yellow cards, what are the rules looking like, you know, but just to kind of create a bit more narrative, would be cool.
There's a lot of noise coming out of schoolboy rugby at the moment, like a lot of, I guess, a lot of television time to schoolboy rugby and the Sevens program that the schoolboys able to go through at the moment. So there's definitely a lot more coverage for a lot of the kids at the moment. It'd be good to translate that from schoolboy to under 20s, then into the big time. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, hard.
Yeah, for sure.
Unreal. That was good fun.
Unreal.
Nice one. Great fun. Cheers, Adam.
Looking at my team, mate. I'm actually pretty happy, boys. Solid, boys. Well, look, thanks for tuning in, everyone. It's been a good fantasy draft here on the Third Phase Pod. Appreciate it. Thanks, Tupou and JJ, for giving us your time. Hope to see you guys again soon. And yeah, boys, good luck with your teams. We'll link back in week on week.
Cheers, mate. Thank you very much.
Cheers, boys.
See you later on.
See you, boys.
That was me.
The boys.